Yeah, well, I don't know what's with the Sunday evening struggles, but last Sunday evening we had a cow with milk fever. Now this Sunday evening we had a cow here that was having a calf. It was a little bigger. The calf, we got the calf out and it's fine. She went and pushed her uterus out. They call that a prolapsed uterus. I had one of these quite a while back. Yeah, we haven't had one since that, so I don't know what her deal is. Anyhow, we'll see if we can get it back in her and get her up. Yeah, I got her uterus back in. Lois is over there YouTubing about a calf. Yeah, man, she must have had about 125 or 30 pound bull calf. It's a massive calf. It's alive and seems to be okay. We just fed it its colostrum. I'm gonna let her lay here. We got her uterus back in and got her sitting up. I'm gonna let her lay here for a couple hours. We gave her some Banamine and some aspirin. Banamine is a anti-inflammatory or pain reliever and swelling. It'll reduce swelling. So yeah, and aspirin will get rid of pain too. I also gave her some cal gel. So I'll give her a couple hours here and see if I can come get her up. So yeah, she's still feeling a little drug out from her hard labor she had, but hopefully she'll be okay. She's a really good cow. She's fresh with her fourth or fifth calf. Fourth, I think. I'd have to double check, but by her number, I would guess fourth.
This cow keeps bawling and hollering and going on. Her problem is her calf's on this side and she doesn't like that very good. You need your baby.
This calf jumped out over the curb and oh, there's jumping back in. That was born earlier today. It's a bull calf, so it'll probably go to auction tomorrow. Yeah, well, it's Monday morning here, and this cow that pushed out her uterus yesterday afternoon, I checked her last night before I went to bed. She seemed okay and everything. I mean, she wasn't up yet, and this morning I come out, she was laying out flat, and yeah, she was still breathing and everything, or she was still alive, obviously. But yeah, we gave her some more aspirin, and which helps relieve pain and reduce swelling, and she's just acting a little lethargic too. So we're giving her one bottle of calcium, 23% calcium, thinking she might have a touch of milk fever. I'm pretty sure she also has a pinched nerve from having such a big calf. So hopefully we'll get her up here yet. I don't know, we'll mess with her here another day or two, see once what happens. But yeah, we got her to drink some water. I just put some feed in front of her. She didn't act too interested in that, but she ate a little bit last night, but yeah. So yeah, I'm giving her a bottle of this calcium. I gave her the other aspirin there around 4 o'clock this morning. It's around 10 now. So I'm going to give her 4 more aspirin and check her here in another hour or two and wait till that aspirin kicks in again. And yeah, hopefully we can get her up and get her going. Yeah, she's a really good cow. Just fresh with her fourth calf, looking like she's gonna milk pretty good, but hopefully we can get her up and get her going. Yeah, sometimes these are hit or miss, and as big as her calf was, her calf's doing fine. Yeah, we tube fed it colostrum last night and tube fed it colostrum this morning. Yeah, it's all dried off. Luckily it wasn't cold out here when it was born, but it still looks a little rough, needs brushed off. But I mean, his hair looks rough. Yeah, but he's doing fine. He don't weigh any less than 125 pounds. He is one big calf. She's a nice sized cow, but definitely not our biggest cow. She might be 1,300 probably. So yeah, it's not like she's a humongous cow either. Here's the size of an aspirin that you give that cow. For those of you that might be watching that aren't farmers, I think it says one of these for every 250 pounds. And yeah, whoever came up with the idea for these pill guns was pretty smart too. This pill gun here, yeah, it's got a handle on it. You pull out, and it depends on the size of the pills. It can hold probably at least 6 boluses normally. Some pills are bigger than others, but yeah, you stick them all in there and slide it back along inside their cheek and slowly push them into the back of their mouth, and they have to swallow them. It don't go the whole way down their throat, just toward the back of their mouth. There's kind of like a hump on a cow or calf's tongue, like when you're working with them. If you get it behind that hump, they pretty much have to swallow them. If you don't get it behind that hump, they'll spit it right back out. For a cow, it's probably in there a good foot or more. For a calf, it's, I don't know, 7 inches. You got to get it in past that. Carmen's waiting on her pale milk. She comes in later, here late than normal, and we haven't had a pale cow in, or a lot of our pale cows come in near the beginning of the milkings here late for some reason. And anyway, she's sitting here waiting on her milk. Good kitty. Pretty neat when he drinks it right out of the pail like that. None of our dogs are in here this morning. They usually like to lap up some milk whenever we dump the pail out too. This cow here had a calf 4 or 5 days ago. And every now and then you'll have a cow that gets bloody milk, and this one here, she's still got, it's a little bit pinkish and has a few blood clots in it. So yeah, it's yeah, but this morning is New Year's morning. Yeah, my son and I are milking, my son Alex and I. Yeah, happy New Year's Day to everybody. But I was saying a little bit about that cow with bloody milk. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes you get one that gets a little bloody milk like that for one reason or other. But anyway, usually they'll have some extra swelling in their udder when they get that, but not always. But it's not real often that we get one like that. So yeah, they'll usually clear themselves up within a couple of days. About once a month, we try to do a maintenance or service, not really a service, but maintenance, lube maintenance on our alley scrapers. There's 4 corner wheels. Yeah, we pump about, I don't know, close to 20 pumps of grease in the corner wheels. This corner wheel is green. Pat's and, well, there's several different companies that make alley scrapers, but Pat's and Huel, spelled H-O-U-L-E, both make these. Pat's is blue and Huel's green. And the one time we put the one on, they put a green one on, or we put a green one on. One thing I will say, the green ones, I don't think it's as old as that blue one over there, and man, it's showing way more rust on it, so it ain't gonna last as long. There's a big wheel in there that the cable turns on. Oh, there's not a bearing or anything in it. It's just like a big bushing in there where you keep it greased. Yeah, our alley scraper cables down at the other end where I was showing first, there's just 2 corner wheels down there, and then up here there's 4 corner wheels total. And then here at this end, we have the drive unit here right in the middle. And then there's a corner wheel over there. You can see it a little bit. We go in from this end with our sawdust to bed. Yeah, things get covered up a little bit up here. I have the drive unit all opened up. I always like to do a service on it. Usually I say a service, a lube service, or a lube maintenance, whatever you want to call it. The 4 corner wheels need greased, and then down in here on each side there's a worm shaft that spins and kind of directs the cable that wraps on the drum. Like as the one is coming forward, the one side's unwrapping and the other side is wrapping. So it's right, the scrapers must be about right in the middle of the barn right now. And yeah, and there's a great big, there's a motor and a gearbox, and there's a great big drive chain here on it. And then there's a smaller chain over on this side that runs those 2 worm shafts. And what the worm shafts do, like I said, was direct the cable where to wrap or unwrap off the drum, mainly wrapping on the drum. But then over on this side is the same worm shaft, but it also has this little slider switch on it right here. So when it gets to the one side, that slider shaft hits, so you can adjust these pieces. That's what stops it and reverses it. And then there's one on both sides. So this thing, when it gets to the one side, it'll slide it that way and stop for maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds. It's not real long, and then restart the opposite way. And then when it gets to the other side, it'll slide that switch the other way. And it just slides it, oh, I don't even know if it's barely 1/4 of an inch. So yeah, but I always like to make sure I get these things lubed up good right before it's gonna be a cold spell, which we try to do it about once a month on average. Sometimes if we're busy, it gets a little more than that. It's been pretty windy here the last couple weeks, and certain times of the year, the way the wind blows, it really blows the sawdust. Our sawdust bin is just right over here, our little sawdust shed is right over here, and it kind of tends to blow a bunch of sawdust around up here and can kind of blow some in under there. So every so often we clean it out too. And there's there's shear pins on this thing as well. We usually run 4 shear pins on this big drum, so if something gets tight or something malfunctions, it'll shear them shear pins instead of breaking something else. So it's I hate when something happens to them shear pins, especially if it's cold out. And this drive unit is 23 years old, soon to be 24 years old. We did replace this drum one time, this whole big drum in here that the cable wraps on. It was getting really rusty where the cable was wrapping up on it. The chains have obviously been replaced. I think we replaced the motor at least once, maybe twice. And yeah, there's also a little safety shut-off switch right in here. There's a bar that rides on top of those cables. If anything would happen, that it would start miswrapping the cable and they would start overlapping, like doubling up, that bar will raise up and hit this little switch down in there and shut the whole unit down. So that's a good safety feature. We've had a few times that is tripped, and I've always been thankful for that when it happened. But so yeah, it's kind of a little bit of an overview of the alley scraper. There's let me see, the 4 corner wheels each have a grease circle on it, and I think there's 4 or 5 grease circles on this drive unit. There's one right inside here on the shaft where this drum rotates, one on each of those worm shafts that guide the cable, and I was thinking there was one more somewhere. But yeah, anyway, I'll get this thing closed up and show you what it looks like closed up. But there's a plate on each side right here that you can take off to open up, get in underneath there, and there's what it looks like all closed up. Them 2 end plates just slide right on there down at the bottom, the whole top. You can pivot it either way. I usually always open it on the side where the motor is, and we do have a shut-off switch around the back here inside that box in case we're up here and need to shut it off for some reason. Or you can always pull that bar up there on that cable too, on that cable miswrap switch. But Yeah, well, here's our first calf born in 2025. Yeah, it was a little heifer calf born this morning. We had just got done milking, and I heard the heifer back here bawling like somebody was having a calf, and came back and checked her. Well, I checked her when we started milking, and I came back and checked her, and she had just finished pushing it out. So it's afternoon here now, so it's probably about, I don't know, 5, 6 hours old. A little red and white bull calf. I say little, it's a decent sized one. That other one, the heifer calf that was born this morning, is out of a first calf heifer. So it's not the biggest calf, but it's a nice size. This one's probably, I don't know, 90, 95 pound bull calf. That's the last one that would have been born in 2024. He was born last evening, and he's going to go to auction tomorrow. Yeah, I'm out here checking the springers one last time before we go to bed. There's probably about 5, 6 hours at night that they don't get checked. Once in a while, if we know we have one that's in the middle of calving or something, we go to bed, we'll get up and come check them. But we're really hoping to put in some cameras in our springer pen and be able to watch them, and yeah, a little better. So I wanted to give you a little update too. That cow that we had there the other day that had that prolapsed uterus, yeah, they don't all turn out like we wish they would, but yeah, we ended up losing her. She died here this morning. Her calf that she had, she was calving there on Sunday. She had a really big calf. Her calf survived. Her calf's doing very well. I'll try to get a little video of that. She had a bull calf. We're gonna send him to auction tomorrow. But so she had a half pinch nerve to start with, and then she went and had that prolapsed uterus. And I think once in a great while they can get a little bit of a tear in your uterus somewhere, and I'm not sure if that's what happened or what, but yeah, she almost reminds you of ones. I didn't have the vet out because I didn't think it was worth it because of the way things were with her. But well, let me say it this way, she was doing very well. She had never stood back up, but she was getting the place. It was just Sunday, and this is Wednesday, so yesterday was Tuesday, so it would have been 2 days after she had calved. She was crawling around. We were giving her feed and water, and she was eating and stuff, and she was crawling around here in the pen. When I say crawling around, trying to get up, and by trying to get up, she was crawling around, and she was really starting to improve. And I thought last night that, yeah, another day or two she'll be getting up. Well, I come out this morning and she was laying out on her side and just was in like shock and just tremoring and all kinds of, yeah, like they act when some for infection sets in. So not sure exactly what happened for sure, but yeah, she did not make it. So, but like I said, that's the way some of them end up. Thankfully it don't happen very often, but we do lose some. But anyway, yeah, there's nobody else calving here, so I think I'll head in and go to bed, and I'll take a video of this calf over here yet. Here's a video of her calf. That's another calf there standing behind him. These are both bull calves. The calf behind him is probably maybe a little smaller than your average calf, but not much. He's going to probably weigh 80, the black and white one there is probably going to weigh 85 or 90 pounds. But that shows you how big this calf was out of that one that had trouble having it. I'm pretty sure he's going to weigh at least 120, if not more than that. But yeah, and the red and white one there was the one that was out of that cow. It spites me we lost her, but my dad used to always say when I was young, whenever things like that happen, be glad it's at the barn and not the house.